Nevertheless, here we are. Another week sails by. Another yin practice comes by. So let's take a seat, please. And tonight's practice is lovely and straightforward. We focused last week on the rebound. This week we'll focus on the pose and the three parts of the pose: the beginning, the middle, and the end. So that's what we'll think about in a little bit of detail in a moment. So for now, just come and rest your hands in your lap. Sink your shoulders away from your ears. Close your eyes down and breathe. Breathe in and breathe out through the nose. And let the breath move smoothly and slowly. Feel yourself arrive now. Arriving at the start of the practice, where you begin to switch off or tune out the distractions. And you bring your focus onto one point of your being. In this instance, it is your breath. Do a little bit of movement for the neck. So I'd like you to inhale with your face in the center. And as you exhale, drop your chin towards your chest and let your head hang forwards. Take an inhale and lift your nose upwards towards the ceiling. And exhale, chin towards the chest. Inhale, nose up. Exhale, chin drops down. Now, as this exhale finishes, stay down. Keep your face tipping down. And then, like you're making a little kind of semicircle, take your chin towards one shoulder and then go back towards the center. So the chin stays very close to the upper body. Then it sweeps over to the other shoulder and you go from side to side. And then we're going to do a complete loop. So as the nose comes over to one side, loop the nose up, across, and down. And do 2 more of these. Keep the shoulders heavy. No need to try so hard to force to create the biggest circle in the world. Doesn't matter. Next time the chin comes down towards the chest, let it hang there. Shoulders heavy, back of the neck long. And then we'll do 3 spins the other way. Nose out, up and over, across and down, and around. Go slowly. Take your time. This is all about softening and taking away tension. Last loop. And come back to center. And let the chin drop forwards again, the head hang heavy. Can you keep your head in this position and take your fingertips to the floor slightly behind you? Push the fingertips into the ground Lengthen the arms. Move the chest slightly forwards, but keep the chin close towards the chest. And stay here. Take another 2 breaths. Inhale softly. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Come back up towards the center. Bring the hands to the knees again or to the lap in front of you. And now draw some circles with your shoulders. Good. And go the other way. Lovely. All right, so our first yin pose for this evening is going to be a seated one. Therefore, if you're very comfortable in the seat that you've chosen, please stay there. Or you can come into seiza, into kneeling pose. And for that, you might want to take a brick or something similar that you can put between your heels so that your feet cradle the sides of it and you sit yourself down onto it so that your bottom is not resting on your ankles or your heels, it's resting on the brick or the cushion or the folded up blanket, whatever it is that you're using. You do not have to kneel. If you want to sit in a cross-legged position, that's fine. You can even do this next pose sitting in a chair or on a stool. Those would be absolutely fine too. Okay, so it doesn't matter which side that you work first of all, but you are going to take one arm behind the back of your body and you are holding onto the opposite arm. Okay, so I hope you can kind of fathom that. If it's difficult to hold on to this arm, use a scarf or a strap or something like that to help you. Okay. Now the idea is that you move this arm, this long arm, slightly further forward so it takes your hand just ever so gently with it. This is again not a forced movement, it's a gentle allowing movement, okay? Because what we want to do is create more space and more length down the arm. You're then going to drop your head just slightly towards this straight arm, this lengthened arm. And we're going to hang out here just for a few breaths. This isn't going to be very long because we don't need to work the neck with the same intensity. These muscles are very delicate and they don't need as long as, let's say, the glutes, which are very strong, very thick, big muscles. They need longer. Okay, so we're going to hang out here for just maybe 1 more minute. Let the head be heavy. Find a little bit of space in the side of your neck. And do remember that with yin, we don't work to our maximum. We work to our 60–70% range. So find your maximum, push towards it, and then back right away from it. And that's where you stay. And you allow and you stay soft. And you just see what happens. So the beginning of the pose is always the longest part. The beginning is where we fidget. We are curious. We want to explore. We want to know, are we in the right place? Is this the best position? Do we need to tweak it at all? And really, we probably stay in this beginning pose or place for the whole of this pose, really. So now what we're going to do, we're ready to come out. I don't want you to move your head. I want you to release your arms from behind you. Use your hand, take it up to the side of your face and push your head back towards the center. Just sit for a moment now with your hands in your lap. Just let everything settle. Find neutral again. And gently breathe in and softly breathe out. Take one more breath now. Okay, so let's open the eyes if they're closed. Change the way that you're sitting if you're not sitting comfortably anymore. And then we can prep for the second side. So it's simply a case of taking the arm behind and holding it. Maybe the long arm moves slightly forwards just to give you just a little bit more range in the shoulder if you want, but remember, not to your maximum. And then the head falls towards the side. Now, when we've done this pose in the past, we've done it in 3 stages. We've looked up, we've looked down. We're just going to keep it very gentle, keep it in one position. But if you come back to this practice later, or if you think, yeah, that pose, it really did me a lot of good, then you might want to incorporate the head facing up like this, or the head tipping down. You're still kind of in a side bend movement. You can add those ones in and spend about a minute in each one. But for now, we're looking for our 60–70% range. And we are soft there. We're not forcing. There might be a bit of discomfort. But we come into the second stage, the middle part of a yin pose, where we begin to find stillness. It's the accepting phase of the pose. We accept that we're going to be here for the next minute, and that minute will go by pretty quickly. And therefore we sit in maybe a little bit of discomfort. Now, this discomfort should never be pain. It should never be pins and needles. It should never be sharp or electrical. So if that happens to you and the neck is so delicate that it might well be, it's always worth being reminded of this. The neck can be so delicate that if that's the case for you, you must find an alternative or a more moderate way to practice. However, that's our minute done. So gently release the arms, but don't move the head. Take your hand up to your face and push your face back to the center so that your neck muscles don't have to do anything, and rest your hands in your lap. Close your eyes. Keep letting the shoulders be heavy. Okay. Blink your eyes open. We're going to come out of the seat now. You're gently going to come onto the front of your body. Now, I'm going to give you 2 options. Option 1 uses a brick. Option 2 is cobra pose or seal pose. Option 1 is you on your front with your arms maybe forwards as little props, but your chin resting on your brick. Option 2, I know I said cobra, I meant sphinx. So option 2 is sphinx, but with a concerted effort to lift the chin. Remember, not to your maximum, but just to about 60 or 70% range. I did say seal pose. You can take a seal and you can look slightly up, but that becomes a much stronger pose, and you might not feel like that tonight in your practice. So this one is the one I want you to aim for, but try the other 2 if they are more appealing. And then we're going to hang out here for a few minutes. Okay. So we just let things settle. Now, if you find that you're in this pose and it becomes really unbearable to remain here any longer, then you just come out and you rest on your front. Now, I'm thinking that the beginning part of this pose went by quite quickly. The settling, the fidgeting, the deciding which variation to do or where to use a prop if you're using one, etc. Then you come to the middle. The middle is the stillness. It's the acceptance that we might not be in the most comfortable of positions, but we're going to stay here for the remaining time. So that we then get to the end. Towards the end of the pose, the body moves into this place of almost bliss, where the acceptance and the attachment to any kind of feeling has faded away into the background. And we just find ourselves peaceful, quiet, super calm and settled. Just being very present. Last breath. And then I'd like you to take the brick away and to come to rest your head down, maybe onto your hands. Okay, so for our next pose, I'd like you to get hold of a strap. I know I should have said this to you before we got settled and things, but if you can get a strap and make a fairly decent size loop in it, so hopefully if you were here on Tuesday, you will already have a loop in your strap left over from Tuesday's practice. Only tonight we're going to do one of my favourites. I do love this. Remember that the buckle should not rest on your head or on your body anywhere, but the strap is going to go around the back of the head, and you're going to take your feet, and we're going to do both feet. I know recently we just did one foot. We were worried more about the hamstrings and things like that, but now our focus is on the neck. I want you to bring your chin towards your chest. And of course you can do this with one leg if you prefer. And you can get more hamstring stretch by making the loop smaller and bringing the feet a little bit closer in towards you. But if you want, you can make the loop bigger and take the feet further away, as long as you're getting this neck stretch. The arms, it's quite nice if you take them out to the sides and just create a little bit of space. So if you want, you can ditch the strap, just use your brick and either have it on its end and put your head on it so your chin is near to your chest, or you can put it on its actual end, try and get it to stand up properly first, and put your head on it that way, or just tip it slightly towards you so that you're doing the same thing. So that you probably can get that set up a little bit better than I have, but that's the idea. So you could just do that, or you could just sit and drop your chin towards your chest like we did right at the beginning. So there's loads of ways to play with this. No, you're right, Vivian. Okay. So we'll stay here for 1 more minute. Please, please, if you find that it's become uncomfortable and you would rather rest now, please know that that's always okay. Can you drop into the end stage? This release into the pose. Almost a full yielding, a softening and a releasing, relaxing place. Okay. So take a couple more breaths here, that's all. And then come into a lying position. Just carefully take the strap away, carefully rest your body down. Feel all the feelings, the achiness, the stiffness, maybe even the tiredness. Allow this to be part of your practice. Stay and enjoy marinating, watching these states of being pass through your awareness. Feeling the bliss of release. All right, my darlings, can you stay as you are? You're going to do banana pose next, which is laying on your back. However, you might want your block or a bolster or a blanket behind you if you want to take your arms and have them resting on something. Okay, if you're getting chilly, please put a blanket over yourself to keep warm. And then you are shuffling over to the edge of your mat. You can move your feet first of all, your upper body second. Find your maximum. Find as far as you can go with your feet. And then back away from it. Be curious. Have a beginner's mindset. What do I want to do? Where do I want to feel this right now? Where in my body needs a side bend? Is it my shoulders, or have my shoulders been worked enough this week? And do I want to move more into the side of the body, the waist, or the hip? Maybe explore crossing the ankles. One way or the other doesn't matter. Now we're in the acceptance phase where we back off. The mind slows down. We stop feeling like we need to analyze every part of what we're doing. And then we know that the end of the pose will be soon. We move into this state of deep ease, stillness, calm wave washing through the body. Take another breath. And then softly come back to neutral. Take your time. Okay, let's do the second side when you're ready. Shuffling over, finding comfort. In your inquiry, your curiosity to what this pose needs for you to be able to become still in it, There might be a dialogue happening within yourself. Perhaps it's one of distraction, one where the mind wanders off into different places. Can you keep your mind on your practice? And then as you move into the middle phase and the pose begins to deepen slightly, it's because you're backing off. There's nowhere else to go, so we have to just be here. And if we need further anchoring, we listen to the breath. Then we come towards the final stage, the deep release, almost an ease. The intensity that the pose was at the beginning has fallen right away. You're left with silence and stillness. Okay, let's move out of the pose now and come back to something that feels neutral. Okay. So then I'd like you, please, to come and lay on your side. You could use a pillow of some kind for your head. And you could stay on the side of your body throughout this pose, but there is also the option to roll back. So if you're rolling back, take care with the head. The head might not need as much support when you roll back, so you might want to lessen the pillow or use nothing at all. So we're going to start on our side. When we are on our side, you might also want a support for this top knee. Okay, so I'm just using my brick in both places just so that you can see. So I've got my top knee supported. The bottom leg is coming out behind me. So I'm going to roll over so that you can see this. So the bottom leg is coming out behind me and I'm reaching back to hold on to this foot. You could hook your fingers into your legging if you can't find your foot, or you can go back to using your strap. Just put the end around the foot and use it to help you find or help you make your arm a little bit longer. Where I want you to feel this is in two places. One, the spine. I'd like a twist feel, please. And number two, it's the quad on the bottom leg. So the front of the thigh on the bottom leg. And that's why you're moving your leg out behind you, not keeping it close in towards the middle of the mat. So move the leg, the bottom leg out behind. So this is cat pulling its tail. Okay. So come into that. I'll come and have a look at the screen and give you a hand if you need one. But set yourself up for it. And remember, you can be on your side, but you can also roll backwards. The rolling backwards will suit some of you because it will feel a little bit more comfortable for your shoulder. And you might find that you hold onto your foot a little bit more easily. But if you'd rather, you can stay on your side. And that's obviously no problem at all. If you can't find your foot, don't worry. It's not important. Just have the leg out behind you and concentrate on feeling the length on the front of the thigh. Okay. Love that, Anne. Well done. Good. Now, obviously, I can see some of you and I can give suggestions, but I'm also not I can't be sure whether you're in the pose in the way that you are because that's where you want to be. But if I just remind you to take the bottom knee backwards a little bit, but if you think, nope, that's too strong a stretch, it's not comfortable, then keep it closer in towards the midline. If you think about your bottom leg as being a tail and you are pulling your tail, Okay, so we'll take our last few breaths here. And then gently release. Well done. Choose whether you'd like to lay on your front or your back, just for a brief moment. And then come into the pose on the second side, please. Okay. Get the settling done. Move into the acceptance phase. This last bit of time into the end phase, where we start to feel those deep releases happening. And then taking your last breath here, slowly release into your final rebound of tonight's session. Take a big breath in and a long, full breath out. Feel the weight of the back of your body sinking into the mat. Have an awareness of the sensation of your clothes resting against your skin. Be aware of the temperature of the room, touching any parts of your body that are not covered with clothes. And for tonight's practice, I thought we would end with a John O'Donoghue poem. This is for the senses. May the touch of your skin register the beauty of the others that surround you. May your listening be attuned to the deeper silence where sound is honed to bring distance home. May the fragrance of a breathing meadow refresh your heart and remind you you are a child of the earth. And when you partake of food and drink, may your taste quicken to the gift and sweetness that flows from the earth. May your inner eye see through the surfaces and glean the real presence of everything that meets you. May your soul beautify the desire of your eyes, that you might glimpse the infinity that hides in the simple sighs that seem worn to your usual eyes. Okay, so I'd like you to bring your awareness back into the space that you're in. Have a wiggle of your fingers and your toes. Take a stretch out any way that feels good. When you're ready, gather your knees in towards you. Maybe take a little roll from side to side. And you can come around and up to a comfortable seat when you're ready. Lovely, well done. Welcome back. Just come and sit with your hands in Anjali Mudra with your eyes closed. Feel the pressure of the opposite palm, the warmth of your hands, and the beat of your heart underneath it all. On your next inhalation, let your eyes open and we'll share namaste to bring the practice to its close. Thank you so much. Well done.